Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes, and love to welcome here Dr. Alan Salas. And he is an author, a chiropractic physician, and a body and mind expert. So we're going to have a great conversation today. Before we get into that, Dr. Alan, tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, I was born and raised in south of France, right? You may hear a slight accent right there. And so I used to live on my sailing boat, right? And I used to run boat in south of France. And so I did that for 7 years. And one day I had like a kind of a calling. I saw myself helping people, right? So I started to inquire around me. And one of my clients one day told me, you know what, I've got a Chinese doctor that's coming to town. He's from France. Maybe you should talk to him. And I said, sure enough, let's do this, right? So I started so we had a conversation, and he told me basically, why don't you, after the season, you can come to my office and we'll talk, right? And so he gave me some book to read, and sure enough, I did read the book, and I came to his office and inquired about Chinese medicine. And he told me, you know what, Alan, you need to go to China like I did, spend 10 years and learn Chinese. And I mean, 10 years, that's a long time, right? I was 30 years old at the time. And so, you know what, I decided, I said, I'm not sure I can do that, right? And he said, you know what, you look strong. Why not chiropractic? So I said, what's that? Literally, I have no idea. And so he sent me some information and about the school, and it's in America. It's only 3 years. So I said, this can work for me. So I got some information, and they were talking about when I received information. And we were talking about the innate intelligence, your own ability to heal yourself. And it was fascinating to me. And sure enough, the following year, I was in America, and I got my first treatment. And they sent me to Kansas City, Missouri to do some prerequisite. And I met my wife, my first wife, that is actually from France, in a bar in Kansas City. So that was an incentive for me to stay in that town, right? And so I did study that, and I did the chiropractic things, right? But the problem is people will get up, but after they will plateau pretty soon, actually, and they will stay that way if you're still treating them. So in my book, that's not what I wanted. I wanted something that is more permanent, something that is deeper, a deeper healing, a deeper transformation, a deeper growth for my patient. And so I decided to study like the inflammation in the body, right? What we call the chemical stress. And sure enough, my practice started to boom, right? So you will come to the practice, I will tell you, you've got all those organs under stress, and that's what's causing the stress. You may have some food sensitivity, so you give you a special diet, and people had great results, right? But so I had I was seeing 250 patients a week, having like 4 employees helping me to process all that. So I taught them, how to do things to help me. And so that was a lot, but, I thought that I was doing the right thing. I was living my passion, I was living my mission in life. But, when everything is like really good, right? Living the American dream, having the big house, in the best neighborhood. And usually at that point when you think, okay, I got it, right? Well, things happen. And what happened to me, sir, it's like basically within a year, because even when I was coming home after working, I was there, but I was not present. So my relationship with my wife went really down the drain. So within a year, I ended up divorcing, and I had a daughter. Her name is Maya, right? And also, so I got depressed, and I lost the juice, I had my passion and all that. Because, when you've got a kid and you divorce, that's not easy, let's face it. Like one of my friends told me, it's never a handshake, right? And so anyway, and ending up divorce, and my practice went from thriving to failing. I was the only one in that big office with 8 treatment rooms. And the cherry on the cake for me was like I got diagnosed with early stage of colon cancer. So here I am, telling you what to do to prevent, cancer and big disease like this. And I got it. So I had to really reinvent myself, redefine myself, and I had to find out, okay, what are the forces behind that? What is that force that pushing me to sabotage my health, my relationship, and my prosperity? And that was a turning point for me, because I always knew through my healing, I will be able to transfer and translate that into my patient and help them.
Does your way of thinking affect your health?
Oh, you better believe it. This is it. It's almost like the universe is mental in a way, right? So, um, let me give you an example, right? So it's like you've got two minds, right? You see, because we talk, like you say, body and mind, or mind and body, right? We always talk about that. We kind of have a concept for it, but really, what is the mind? We don't know. Most of the people don't know. I didn't know either. I had to, get some knowledge about the mind. And what I found out was mind blowing, literally, right? So it's like we live in two separate worlds at the same time. So one is called the outer world, and the other one is called the inner world. And the outer world is basically your conscious mind, who you think you are, your self-identity, your, like you say, your thought, your emotion, your behavior and your action, how you perceive the reality around you, right? And so that's called the conscious mind. The inner world is called the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind job is like, first of all, you're not aware of it, right? It's like secret, it's like mysterious, right? And that's subconscious mind record everything you have been doing in your life, sir. Every single thing, right? It's recorded there. Your skill as a human being, as a dad, maybe as a podcaster, as somebody who got a job, are stored there. All the function in your body that work automatically, that you don't have to think about it, like your heartbeat, your breathing and all that, it's stored there, right? But more than anything, that subconscious mind can be programmed. So especially when you're like around age 0 to 6 to 8 years old, depends who you're reading, you make assumption of the outer world, right? You say, oh, okay, the outer world, so we assume that everything is designed to be for my own good, right? So when you've got assumption and you've got repetition of the assumption, this become a program. And you've got two kind of program. You've got program that's serving you. It's kind of like your mind is working for you, right? And you've got some programs that are not serving you any longer. So it's kind of your mind is working against you, right? So when your mind is working against you, we call that limiting belief. When your mind is working for you, we call that the empowering belief, right? And so those literally that subconscious mind that is working behind the scene to show you how important it is. When you look at the ratio between your conscious mind and the subconscious mind, depends you reading again, your conscious mind, your self-identity, who you think you are, it's only 5 or 10% of your mind. Therefore, your subconscious mind, the one that you don't know what's going on there. I mean, we know, we already explained a little bit, it's 90 to 95% of your mind. And yet, for healing, transformation, and growth, we focus on what? On our conscious mind only. So it means we are using only 5 or 10% of our brain power and mind power, and we expect to have those wonderful results. So I was thinking, hey, you know what? Why don't we bring the subconscious mind to the party, right? Why don't we use 100% our mind power in order to accomplish what we want in life? And that's how the mind clearing was born.
So you could still be taking care of yourself, eating right, exercising, but the way you think can affect your health.
Or the way you think can affect your health, can affect everything, can create pain in your body, right?
Hmm.
Can create symptom in your body, also can create inflammation in your body, can prevent you to reach your goal, right? Because if you got some negative programming between where you are and where you want to be, that's not going to happen. Because that subconscious mind is so powerful. It's 90% of your mind, right? I mean, so that's so powerful. So it's basically, in a way, it's like, because those programs are from our past, right? Our past challenging, our past trauma, for the limiting belief and all that, right? So it's kind of your past define your present and mold your future. Let me give you an example. If there's a little girl that's her dad, that is a drunk, coming back every night and beat up his wife. That little girl, when she grows up, what do you think she's going to attract as a romantic relationship?
She's going to attract an abusive person.
Exactly. So there's two comments that I want to make on that. The first comment is like, if you had that woman now, she's a woman now, and you ask her, hey, do you enjoy to get beat up like your mom? A conscious mind, she's going to say, heck no. But the subconscious mind has been programmed as men are predators and women are prey. So now there's another comment, right, that comes, how she's going to attract that guy. She's not going to say, hey, you shake his hand and say, do you want to beat me up? Of course, it's not going to happen that way. So it's kind of in a way, our subconscious mind are connected to each other. You see, some people say we are all connected. That's how, right? And that subconscious mind gonna make her, fall in love with that guy. And that guy is probably has been bullied, and now he's a bully, right? And so that the subconscious mind of that guy is gonna say, "Hey, that's the woman. She's a prey. I'm a predator. She's a prey." And they're gonna start. They're gonna fall in love. They're gonna start to have that dance. They're going to tango together, right? And there's three different case scenarios that can happen to that woman. Case scenario number one, she married that guy, she gets stuck with that guy for the rest of her life. We all knew people like that, right?
Hmm.
Case scenario number two, she may go with one guy, and after say, oh, it's not good, and find another guy, maybe have kids along the way, but lots of suffering and time, right? And so there's two ways that the woman will react. The one that they say, you know what, Dr. Salas, I don't want any more men in my life. I know they're not good for you. I'm done with men, right? So it's kind of like she's aware that, it's like you touch a fire, you get burned 2 or 3 times, you say, oh, I'm not going to touch a fire again, right? But really, the true healing will be that, you know what? She's attracting somebody now that's totally different, totally the opposite. Because of course you can learn from life experiences, right? But look at all the suffering, all the time, and you're not sure you're gonna make it, right? Case scenario number one. So she will know that she truly healed from that if she attracts somebody that's very kind, basically the opposite of the men she used to attract before, and like very nurturing and see her and respect her a lot and see her as an equal, right? And that's how she'll be healed. And case scenario number three, she can come to see me, and we can number one delete those limiting belief, replace like delete what we don't want, basically, to keep it very simple, right? Step number two, replace those limiting belief by empowering ones. So it means after you download basically what you want. And step number three, you want to make sure you create that into your life, right? Because we all about experiencing things, right? If it's stay in our head, it's a fantasy, right? It doesn't help. But you want to make sure that she attract that guy again. Does it make sense to you?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Now you work with people over platforms like Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. I mean, yeah, because the beauty of that mind clearing, remember, we were talking about the innate intelligence. It's like you will do everything. You will visualize a picture, like, for example, if you got neck pain, right? I will say, okay, visualize a picture in which you are in that picture and you've got the worst neck pain, right? And after we'll customize the treatment and you deleting yourself, you send that to your picture. And after I say, okay, now what I want you to do and that represent your empower that you absolutely love, and that represent your empowering belief, right? And we're going to customize. I'm just a guide. I'm helping you to customize the download on that program to your subconscious mind, right? To replace that. And we're going to do the same with creating. So it means you don't have to identify what limiting belief. It doesn't matter. There's a big conception. How do you want, by using only your analytical mind, meaning using only 5 to 10% of your mind, cracking the code of 90% of your mind power? I mean, the odds are not in your favor, right?
Right.
So we don't have to identify them. We just replace them by empowering. And usually what happens, 80% of the people, within 1 or 2 visits, the pain is gone. So you can be
Wow.
online, obviously, because you are doing the work that show you how powerful you are. We have been told, here's the problem, here's the huge problem. We have been told that we're only 5 or 10% of mind. We have been told that we are only our self-identity. We are much more than that. We are a spirit, having a earthly experience. We're so much more. So more limiting belief you get rid, like just visualize the sun, right? And the sun is God, is awareness, whatever your belief is about that, right? That's divine, right? And the spark of the sun, that's your spirit, right? And this is all non-duality, meaning that it's all about all there is and has ever been. There's no good and bad, there's no duality, right? So it's all that. And after you've got cloud in the sky, and after you've got yourself, right? And so some people, they're so much, the sky is so much clouded that they say the sun doesn't exist. Never felt it, never been there, right? So what are the cloud? They are limiting belief, and so when we get rid of more limiting belief, right, that are holding us, prevent really to be ourself, not our self identity, but ourself as a spirit, right? And so when you do that, after you can start to feel the warmth of the sun. You can even take a glimpse at the sun and you know it exists, right? And so what happens, more limiting belief, and after you get more connected to your spirit. If you get more connected to your spirit, imagine a triangle. You've got more empowering belief, and the empowering belief will be at the center of a triangle, right? On top of a triangle, because you've got empowering belief, good things, right? You're going to have positive thought. If you've got positive thought, you're going to have supportive emotion. If you've got supportive emotion, you're going to have desirable behavior. If you've got desirable behavior, you're going to you're going to take productive action, and you're going to get the outcome that you want. That's how it works.
Wow. Now, where can people get your book?
So the book, it was a whole book. It's called The Brain Power Secret. Now I'm creating the own book. That's why I do so many podcasts, because I can see the way you react. That's giving me some feedback, and I know, pretty much what people are looking for. So it's gonna be soon, trust me, But they can go to themindclearing.com, and we can talk about that forever, right? I mean, trust me, I can talk about that for hours. But bottom line, it's just you want to experience it, right? Because now right? So pain is a very cool thing to experience it, because you got an immediate feedback that is working for you. Matter of fact, I use pain to monitor the progress that I was making, creating that technique, right? It was a really good feedback. So I've been working on that for 3 years now, and I really love the way it is now, obviously. And so you've got 20% off if they mention, your podcast. So they go to themindclearing.com, themindclearing.com. They go to contact. There's a form here you fill in, and we can, book you whatever you want, right? And you've got my email address. And there's a ton of information on my website, because doctor means teacher ultimately. So, and if you want to learn it, if you empower yourself, because you can learn it for yourself, and you can treat yourself, but also you can treat your loved one, right? So it's for the people. You don't need to have a PhD on anything, right? On healing, on all that. You just need to learn it, right? That's it. So imagine you're going to realize how powerful you are, right? When you start to talk the same language by your subconscious mind, when you start to involve that subconscious mind, of yours, right? Because you're healing yourself, Even if I treat you, for example, right? You are the one who visualizing the picture. I'm not the one who does that. Matter of fact, the negative picture, I don't want to know what this is about. That's your privacy, right? That's your private business. But I may help you to customize the download or the deletion, but you are the one who's sending it. I'm just here to guide you. That's it. So for me, when you empower somebody to heal himself or herself, that's the holy grail of healing. There's no better things than that, right? So if you want to experience it, you get that 20% off. Now, if you want to learn the mind clearing basic, right? The body clearing, which is about getting rid of pain, symptom, and inflammation, and the goal and success clearing, well, that what this is about, to reach your goal, right? If you want to learn all that, you've got the 50% discount on that package. Right? My vision is just to have people in so many towns everywhere, that you can, not only they can help their family, right? But if you are like a coach or a health professional, and you're really serious about transforming people's life, right? And you want to have great results. You don't want to keep your patient forever, and you really want to make an impact, really a big impact, by helping people to heal, transform themselves, and grow. The mind clearing is for you.
Awesome. I will put your links in the description just to make it easier for folks to find you. But man, Dr. Salas, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you for sharing that to the planet, helping me to do that.
Oh, of course, of course. And I also want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. And until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless, saying. Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network